Department of Agriculture has announced a historic new program to support farmland acquisitions to help grow farm ownership opportunities across the state. To tell us all about it is my guest, Commissioner of the Connecticut Department of Agriculture, Brian Hurlburt. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me today.
All right, once upon a time, there were tens of thousands of farms in this state. Now it's dwindled down to just over 5,000.
Yep.
What happened?
So agriculture is a difficult industry to be in, right? I mean, you work a lot, you've got a lot of debt on the front end, the markets might not pan out. Last year we saw historic floods, we saw rainfall every weekend, so it makes it really tough for farmers markets, agritourism events. But we're at 5,000 farms working 370,000 acres, and we say from the ground to the sound, because we've got oyster and clam operations in Long Island Sound as well. They generate $4 billion to the state's economy and employ significant, right? and they employ 31,000 residents. So when you think about where we are, we're still in a pretty good spot. And what we want to talk about today is ways that we can help grow Connecticut agriculture and welcome more people to the ag community.
All right, how does the program work? When does it get rolled out?
Yeah, so we actually had our first webinar yesterday, but I want to talk about the Land Capital Market Access Program. Is a USDA funded program. It's a grant program, competitive grant program. And we decided a couple years ago that one of the ways that we at the Department of Agriculture can grow Connecticut agriculture and increase the resiliency of Connecticut agriculture through weather events, climate change, market shifts, is to diversify. So we want to talk about diversifying who's farming, where they're farming, what they're farming, how they're farming, what they're growing, and how they're selling it. And so part of that effort was to create the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Working Group to talk about ways that we can get more people of different backgrounds into the industry. And one of the things that that working group identified was land access. We know land is expensive in Connecticut. We know that it's challenging to get it. We know that you've got to get a loan. We know that you've got to have a good business model in order to qualify for that loan. So we said, how can we work all the way upstream and say, here are people who want to farm. What can we do to help them be able to own a farm and own their own land? So we applied for the Land Capital Market Access Program, and it was announced earlier this year that we were an awardee, $2.5 million. And importantly, and I'm really proud of my team and the partners on this, we are the only Department of Agriculture in the nation to receive this program. Everybody else was a nonprofit or a university, and so...
if I want to be a farmer, how do we get involved in this?
So the first thing you do is you sign up. So we have a website that says if you're interested in participating, register here. And what we'll do there is that's going to be the first way we're going to start our communication. So the LCMA at CT-DOAG, that's all you have to Google, will take you to the website. Sign up. We had a webinar yesterday. You can review the webinar, but then we'll start the information flow. So we'll
it's going to be a while.
Oh, it's we're going to. This is going to be. We're not going to be giving people grants to get on land for about 18 months. Because we want to make sure that, one, they're qualified, they understand what they're getting into. Then we're going to work with them on a business plan so they understand how they can operate a profitable farm. Then we're going to give them technical support about how to be a farmer. I mean, it's hard.
Do you have a goal? How many new farmers do you want in this state?
Oh, I mean, there's no cap to that, right? I mean, we want to make sure that we have every farmer who wants to farm has a profitable business and as a viable business, because we know how important it is to local communities. You know, how many farmers markets are in New Haven, right? This is a great opportunity for Connecticut farmers to sell to different markets, and we could grow that opportunity.
And no farms, no food.
Exactly.
Brian, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And if you'd like to know more about the historic farmland acquisition program in Connecticut, go to WTNH.com or the News 8 app.